Okay, Ko, are you excited to be here?
I'm super excited.
Alright, let's do this. Ko, welcome to the workshop field, first of all. This is your second time in Antwerp. What keeps you motivated to coming back? Why did you come back to Belgium? Because America and Belgium, that's a big difference, no?
Yeah, it's because I came in 2003.
Yeah.
So it's for me, it's rewarding to come back and be able to teach students because I learned from people here. And then when I was here, I think there was the workshop that I took was the designer of the Mira chair that did it for Herman Miller. It was a German group that designed it, and they came here to teach. So being able to participate in that, it was just an opportunity when I got invited to come back to help students with what I learned.
Really, you did a workshop here as well by yourself as a student?
As a student, yeah. It was an exchange program at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh.
Oh, really?
So I came for a week. There was a company called Body Media that came to do a workshop as well. And then there was a couple of professors from my school that did a workshop. And then I came as a student though. And then I took workshops. And then in 2013, because I met Dries at a different conference, and he invited me to come. So yeah, that's what I did.
Oh wow, I didn't know you came here as a student.
Yeah.
Yesterday I took a peek into your workshop, and I have to say, like, what the hell is going on there? Like, what are you guys doing? I saw some weird stuff about people just standing in weird positions and other students sketching them. What was going on there?
So our project is called the Purposely Absurd, and the idea came about because so when we're talking about wearables in the future, maybe like 10, 15 years from now, we're not gonna have wearables anymore. We're gonna have we're gonna be just wearing technology at all times. So you won't be able to take it off. That was the point of my lecture. You'll just put it on, and then it'll just be annoying to take it on and off all the time. So you just have it on all the time, for the most part. Some of the examples right now are things like the Fitbit, or like a pedometer or Triton monitors.
All right.
You have to have that on all the time, even when you're sleeping, so that you can get data about yourself. But once that technology gets smaller and smaller, you're just gonna put it on you like a tattoo or whatever, permanently. So at that point, the physical design of the object disappears, and it's just going to be like a sticker, right?
Right.
But with a lot of sensors, a lot of different technology, there's probably going to be engineering issues with batteries and all that kind of stuff. But all those things aside, it'll probably get smaller and smaller to try to get to that level of fidelity. And so the purpose with ours is to just, as an exercise, to go really creative and go totally absurd. Because if that's the future, for a designer, that's pretty boring. It's just like a little sticker or a tattoo that goes on you. So we did that exercise in there with Band-Aids, actually. So the idea was that, like, if it becomes that way, then wearables need to become. It's not about size anymore. It's not a size restraint. It's more of a cultural communication device. So being able to take something to absurd or to the level of fashion, like couture fashion. Other types of things that evokes emotion, all these things that humans need, like dance, poetry, art, fashion, right?
Yeah.
You need these things to communicate with other people, so let's go there and let's try to explore what that means. And I know as a student, when I was in the district design student, we didn't get to explore all those things too much because it was too constrained with engineering, possibilities of technology, all those types of things. So removing all those things, what can we do as designers to be really creative? And it's only a week, right? So there's plenty of time to be able to become a real product designer that understands the constraints, because that's very important. But at least for this week, at least for like 3-4 days, let's explore what the possibilities are and get inspired.
Right. So is this actually what you do in real life, or are you just going all into this week, just going crazy?
I think the closest experience I had was with concept vehicles, because when you do concept vehicles 15, 20 years into the future, you're not, you don't really want to be limited by technology yet, because you can't even guess what technologies are coming. You can kind of guess, understand, maybe 2-3 years out, but things like touch screens, right, coming back, like not a lot of people predicted that. And then when it boomed, it was just like, holy cow, that's like pretty amazing. Now we're all used to it, but that was only 8 years ago. So that wasn't even 20 years ago, right? So 20 years ago, what is that? 90, 80, 90? Yeah. So that was like 1995 was modem, right? Like modems existed, and you're like downloading like one image took you like 2 minutes or something. Websites had little tiny like animated GIFs. Were you even alive 20 years ago?
Yeah, I was alive 20 years ago. Barely, but I was there.
But yeah, no, I'm just but like, I mean, my point is, it's like you couldn't guess like 20 years ago what the world was going to be.
Right.
It was just like it's like we live in the future, and so 20 years from now it's going to be super difficult to guess what that world's going to be like too.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, to answer your question, when we did the concept vehicles, because that stuff's hard to just imagine, you can sort of like forecast certain things, but imagining that world, creating inspiration for what that world might be like is very important, and there's a place for designers to do that, because we're very creative. And not that like MBAs or engineers aren't creative, they're creative in their own way, but for designers to bring our conversation to the table and bring our creativity, we need to be able to use that part of the brain, so that's what I was trying to do. And it's pretty practical. It's in the business world, it's not highly sought after because it doesn't readily translate to profits or money.
Yeah.
A lot of that's like in production and whatnot. But for like a designer, I feel like that kind of skill set is very important.
Okay, I hear you say the word designer a lot. Over here we do product development, and product developments have a tendency to separate themselves from designers. We don't like to be seen as designers. Do you, from your experience with design school and designers yourself, do you see a difference between product development and design, or is it basically the same for you?
It's a good question. It's different. I think my ready answer is different, but I feel like product developers should be designers, and then designers should be product developers. In that, like, you need to, because, well, not all the time though, but in certain industries, I'll say certain industries, but it's never black and white, right? So like in a vehicle world, like engineers should figure out how to make this gorgeous, beautiful car with the limits of technology and get it as close to the design the aesthetic styling as much as possible. I don't necessarily want to call it design, but and with product development, you really need to understand how it's going to be created, where it's going to be created, the production costs, all those things to get the actual device or product into the world. Product developers need to understand how that works, and without product development, you wouldn't it wouldn't be out. The products wouldn't be out there, or if it comes out there, it's like way overpriced and people can't afford it, which is the same as not being out there. So there's a lot of technical influences and knowledge that product developers understand that designers don't. Some designers don't have, but if designers do have that, it's important. And I think what product developers need is the creativity side, because you guys probably do a lot of like problem solving or something like that. So if you really want to solve a problem, you need to understand all of the tools, including interaction design, fashion design, graphic design, three-dimensional design. You need to know all of those different types of designs to be able to figure out the right solution for the problem.
Right.
Because if you only know one kind of design, then you're only going to use that to solve the problem.
Okay, thank you. Back to the workshop. What is your final goal with this workshop? What do you hope to achieve by Friday with your project?
Like for the students?
Yeah, for the students.
Yeah. I think what I really want to do is all different kinds of exercises that sort of gets the brain thinking. So hopefully the students walk away with some of these like techniques that they can possibly use down the line. Maybe when they're doing their own projects, like, oh, I remember when I tried that one exercise. Maybe I can apply that here.
Right.
So that's why we're trying to do a bunch of different small things really quick. But then ultimately at the end of the day, we're going to make the like a wearable, I don't want to say product, like wearable inspiration that's going to, again, it's not going to be very practical, but at the same time, it'll evoke some kind of emotion, which I still think is an absolute need for people.
So your demonstration Friday is basically going to be a bit like a fashion show with a statement toward the future.
I think so, yeah. I think less about, it's not necessarily about the future, but yeah, evoking some kind of emotion in a like object. So like we're not trying to sell it, we're not trying to like manufacture it, because you can't. It'll be stupid, right? And it's gonna look humorous because it's gonna look ridiculous to to some extent, but that like humor is very important too, to be able to like laugh and like enjoy it, and then after that part, you can appreciate the art for what it is, because you laugh and at a surprise or not understanding something, or nervousness, like all of those things that evokes emotion, is what we're trying to do in the class on Friday.
Okay, great. Looking forward to it. Friday, Nakatsu with what's your workshop called?
Purposefully observe.
Purposefully observe. I can't say it.
That's okay. I can't say it right either.
Right, try it.
Purposefully observe.
You can't either. All right, thank you very much, Ko.
Hey, thank you, man. This was awesome.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
Everyone, you can check out the website on workshop.be. Make sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and just go to the website and check it out for yourself.